Although you are showing empty screen. You are showing empty screen. Kilo Shala, what happened to your video now? Your video is not showing anything. Can you hear it? Can you hear the sound on the YouTube? It's still in the version. Yeah, this is. Please refill the national team. You look that. That's it. Can you hear this sound? Yes. You have the measurement. Please. Just if you can just get up. Without the office. Please. Don't call this one again. You are paying the national team. Shala, I cannot hear anything, see anything. Everything you are saying is actually everything you are saying, the system is questioning itself. National team. National team, I cannot hear. Stop it. Take it back to the when it is done, I will ask you to stay. So that is open.
Ọdún ọkọ̀ iṣẹ́ kẹrin fún. Ọdún sínú wa.
Everything is so window.
Eh?
Window tó kàn sọ ẹ̀ máa ń gbọ́.
Okay.
This is time lapse.
YouTube. Time like that. This one, look at the piece of it.
I was having it here.
The sister will be just to be for 60% assistant back.
No, you just enter. No, I won't. It's fine.
Look on your video. Stop. Stop.
Business here ni fún wa ní ètò wa. A máa gbé kí ní ẹ̀kọ́ òní nílò lẹ́kùn lọ́gà rẹ̀.
Wait on. What can you see? How is it? Everything.
Okay, is it possible you send the device to the top?
So I will write that for you.
I'll stop the tension.
That work.
Ọ̀gá cameraman. Mute yourself.
ladies and gentlemen, shareholders, members of the press. Welcome to the 27th Annual General Meeting of the Microfinance Bank. Yes. So we are now going to start. We have to rise up for the national anthem. This is I call on Usman Sababa to in the name of Allah, the most beneficent, the most merciful. Thank you, Allah, for bringing us together and showing us this year again on our great party, great bank. We thank you for the mercy of our shareholders. We thank you for giving our directors and management good health to carry the bank up to this stage. And we pray, Almighty Allah, to lead us in this celebration to get to the end successfully and in good condition. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين. الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين. إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين. اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين. آمين. Thank you. Once again, I welcome every one of us that is here physically, and the other people that are also virtual. I welcome everybody. Please note that due to government public gatherings following the pandemic, the COVID-19 pandemic, and directives to minimize social contact by restricting the number of persons in public meetings. And in accordance with the number of persons, public gatherings, and in compliance with the Corporate Affairs Commission's guidelines, holding of annual general meeting of public companies by using proxies pursuant to Section 254 of the Companies and Allied Matters Act 2020. This annual general meeting is being held today by proxy following the approval of the Corporate Affairs Commission. This meeting is being streamed live for our shareholders, regulators, and observers who are not physically present in the room. here. I will now call on the registrars represented by Mr. Adeola to provide us with the report of the proxy forms received before we proceed with the meeting. The registrar, please.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Good morning, Mr. Chairman, Board of Directors, and distinguished shareholders of Npf Microfinance Bank PLC. I welcome you once more to the 27th Annual General Meeting of Npf Microfinance Bank PLC. It's a great pleasure to deliver the proxy report for this meeting. We received a total of 144 duly executed proxies amounting to 1,484,168,903 units of Npf Microfinance Bank PLC shares, and this constitutes approximately 64.91% of the issue share. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you. I have been informed by the company secretary that we have formed the quorum. That is in compliance with section 256 of the Companies and Matters Act of 2020. It's my pleasure to therefore declare this meeting open. Now call on the safety manager of the Chartered Institute of Bankers of Nigeria take us through the safety and security process. Safety manager.
Good morning. We welcome you to the Chartered Bankers of Nigeria. And for this AGM, on the ground floor we have our sanitizer and the soap to wash your hands. And also we have the outdoor where in case there's any fire incidents, or we did that everything is work fine. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Safety Manager. In line with the notice of meeting and our year 2020 annual reports and accounts, shareholders will be asked to consider each agenda and each agenda item, and you have the opportunity to second each motion put to the meeting. There will be an opportunity for questions on the motion before votes are taken. I therefore request that whenever you ask any question, propose or second the motion, kindly speak clearly into the microphone placed in front of each person present, stating your name. I would like to introduce you to the directors of the bank, starting with my humble self, Mr. Azubuko Joel Oda, retired DIG. Let me introduce other directors that are here. DIG Saliu Ashimo Argungu. DIG Mr. Abdul Rahman Satumari. Mrs. Ragia Edotacheo. Aminu Salepai. Okay, Mr. Jubril G. Kane. Usman Issa Baba.
Mr. Akinwumi Lawa, the Managing Director, Mr. John K. Tize, Executive Director of Operations, Mr. Francis Nelson, Executive Director of Finance and Administration. And finally, in attendance is our company secretary, the person of Mrs. Osaroje Idemudia. Please note that the profiles of all the people mentioned are contained in the brochure, pages 15 to 20 of the annual reports. I also wish to recognize the presence of some special stakeholders and invitees in the audience, or those joining us online. One, members of the audit committee, Chief Timothy Adesi, Chairman, Mr. Abdulkadir Sani, the registrar of the bank, represented by Mr. Abiola, the external auditors, Mrs. KPMG, Professional Services, represented by Mrs. Nega Iluma. The consultant on board appraisal, Financial Institute Training Center, represented by Mr. Leke. The representative of the Security and Exchange Commission said, Mrs. Kelechi Azubikelu. The NGX Regulation Limited, represented by Chidi Okoromo. Corporate Affairs Commission, represented by Mr. Ocha Imo. I acknowledge the presence of our shareholders that are gathered here today and those acting as proxies. I now call on the secretary. Please.
The notice of the meeting is on page 5 of the annual report. Page 5, 6, and 7 of the annual report. Notice of annual general meeting. Notice is hereby given that the 27th annual general meeting of Npf Microfinance Bank PLC we hold at Ijewere Hall, Chartered Institute of Bankers of Nigeria, plot 19, Adiola Homewood Street, Victoria Island, Lagos, on Thursday, 27th May 2021 at 11 a.m. to transact the following business. Ordinary business. To receive the audited financial statement for the year ended December 31, 2020, together with the reports of the directors, auditors, and statutory audit committees thereof. 2. To declare a dividend. 3. To re-elect the following directors retiring by rotation: Mr. Abdurrahman Satumari, Mrs. Rekia Edota Shehu, Mr. Saliu Agombu Hashimo. 4. To authorize directors to fix the remuneration of the auditors. 5. Disclosure of the remuneration of managers of the bank. 6. To elect members of the audit committee. Special business. To consider and if thought fit, pass the following as ordinary resolution. That the remuneration of directors of the bank for the year ended 31st December 2021 be and is hereby fixed at 25 million naira only. To consider and if thought fit, pass the following as ordinary resolution. That in the event of oversubscription of the 3 billion units of shares earlier approved to be offered by the company, the directors be and are hereby authorized to allot all the outstanding unissued shares of the company in compliance with Section 124 of the Companies and Allied Matters Act 2020 and the new Companies Regulations 2021, and to deal with the fractional shares arising therefrom in the best rigid phase. by order of the board, signed by Usaro J. Demedia, Company Secretary, Legal Advisor. Notes. Firstly, in view of the COVID-19 pandemic, the restriction on mass gathering in the coronavirus disease, COVID-19 Health Protection Regulation 2021, and in line with the guidelines issued by the Corporate Affairs Commission on holding annual general meetings using proxy, attendance at the AGM shall only be by proxy. Consequently, a member entitled to attend and vote at the AGM is advised to select from the underlisted proposed proxies to attend and vote instead. The names of the proxy are one, Mr. Atibiko Joel Uda, Mr. Akinomi Lawa, Mr. Boniface Okezi, Mr. Sunday Nandiwosu, Mrs. Fuyemi Udei, Alhaji Kazeem Olaiwola, Honorable Bryce Nwabubo, Barrister Mrs. Sheikola Adetutu, Mr. Amos Olaiwola, Honorable Kola Alaba, and Mrs. Oluleye Adetutu. The land grant form is attached to the annual report. And we also downloaded from the bank's website at www.npf.com. Member of the company entitled to attend our vote at the annual general meeting, entitled to appoint a proxy to attend our vote instead. The proxy is not a member of the company. For the appointment to be valid, shareholders are required to complete their completed proxy forms in line with public affairs commission guidelines in the office of the company secretary, Npf Microfinance. Or sex soft copies to people who are Npf Microfinance or register and finance with the payment of dividends. Shall be paid on 27th day. Or via the company's website, www.npfmicrofinancebank.com. Statutory Audit Committee. In accordance with Section 4046 of the Companies and Allied Matters Act 2020, the shareholder may nominate another shareholder for appointment to the Audit Committee. Such nomination should be in writing and must reach the company secretary not less than 21 days before the annual general meeting. The Code of Corporate Governance of the Securities and Exchange Commission (SEC) and Central Bank of Nigeria (CBN) provides that members of the Audit Committee should have basic financial literacy and be knowledgeable in internal control process. We therefore request that nominations be accompanied by a copy of the nominee's curriculum vitae. Annual reports. The electronic version of the annual report is available at www.npfmicrofinancebank.com. Shareholders who have provided their email details to the registrar will receive the electronic version of the annual report via mail. Additionally, shareholders who are interested in receiving the electronic version of the annual report may request via email to registrar@cardinalstone.com. Biographic details of directors. The profile of all directors submitted for re-election are contained in the annual report. Live streaming of the AGM. The AGM will be streamed live. This will enable shareholders and other stakeholders who will not be attending physically to follow the proceedings. The link for the AGM live streaming will be made available at the company's website at www.npfmicrofinance.com. Rights of shareholders to ask questions. Shareholders reserve the right to ask questions not only at the annual general meeting, but also in writing prior to the meeting on any item contained in the annual reports and accounts. Such questions should be addressed to the company secretary, Npf Microfinance Bank PLC, Ali Water House, number 1 Ikoyi Road, Obalende, Lagos, or info@npfmicrofinancebank.com on or before 26 May 2021. Thank you.
Thank you very much, the company secretary. We go to the chairman's statement. My statement, the company's activities for the year 2020 is on pages 8, 10. Okay, thank you very much. Thank you. So let us now go agenda item by item in the agenda. Item 1 talks about adoption of the accounts. Ladies and gentlemen, I come to the first item on the agenda to receive the audited financial statements of the bank for the year ended 31st December 2020, together with the reports of the directors, auditors, and audit committee therein. I call on the representative of the auditors, Mrs. KPMG Professional Services, present their report, which has been circulated to members along with the accounts for the year ended 31st December 2020, and now laid before you as required by law. Auditors.
Thank you, sir. Good morning, everyone. I'll be reading the independent auditor's report as contained on pages 52 to 56 in the annual report. With your permission, Mr. Chairman, sir, and directors, as well as the shareholders, I'll be reading just the opinion, the basis for opinion, and the report of other legal and regulatory requirements. May I go ahead, sir?
Please go ahead.
To the shareholders of Npf Microfinance Bank PLC, the report on the audit of the financial statements. Opinion. We have audited the financial statements of Npf Microfinance Bank PLC, the bank, which comprise the statement of financial position as at 31st December 2020, the statement of profit or loss and other comprehensive income, the statement of changes in equity, the statement of cash flows for the year then ended, and the notes comprising significant accounting policy and other explanatory information. In our opinion, the accompanying financial statements give a true and fair view of the financial position of the bank as at the 2020, and of its financial performance and its cash flows for the year then ended in accordance with international financial reporting standards, and in the manner required by the Companies and Allied Matters Act 2020 and the Financial Reporting Council of Nigeria Act 2011, the Bank and Other Financial Institutions Act 2020, and the relevant Central Bank of Nigeria guidelines and circulars. Basis for opinion. We conducted our audit in accordance with international standards of auditing. Our responsibilities under those standards are further described in the auditor's responsibilities for the audit of the financial statement section of our report. We are independent of the bank in accordance with International Ethics Standards Board for Accountants, International Code of Ethics for Professional Accountants, including International Independent Standards, which is the ISD code, together with the ethical requirements that are relevant to our audit of the financial statements in Nigeria. And we have fulfilled our other ethical responsibilities in accordance with these requirements and the ISD code. We believe that the audit evidence we have obtained is sufficient and appropriate to provide a basis for our opinion. The reports on other legal and regulatory requirements. Compliance with the requirements of Schedule 5 of the Companies and Allied Matters Act, 2020. 1. We have obtained all the information and explanations which, to the best of our knowledge and belief, were necessary for the purpose of our audit. 2. In our opinion, proper books of accounts have been kept by the bank. So far as appears from our examination of those books, and proper returns adequate for the purpose of our audit have been received from branches not visited by us. 3. The bank's statement of financial position and statement of profit or loss and other comprehensive income are in agreement with the books of accounts and returns. Compliance with Section 26, subsection 3 of the Bank and Other Financial Institutions Act 2020 and Central Bank of Nigeria Circular BS/1/2004. 1. The bank did not pay any penalty in respect of contravention of the Banks and Other Financial Institutions Act 2020 during the year ended 31st December 2020. And 2. Related party transactions and balances are disclosed in Note 28 to the financial statements in compliance with the Central Bank of Nigeria Circular BS/1/2004. It was signed by Neka Eluma on behalf of KPMG Professional Services, Chartered Accountants, on 25th March 2021. Thank you.
Thank you very much. We're going to audit committee reports. In accordance with the provisions of section 404, subsection 4 of the Companies and Allied Matters Act 2020, the auditors submitted their report to the audit committee, which duly the report and being satisfied, rendered the certification already circulated to all shareholders. I now call on the chairman of the audit committee, Chief Timothy Adesian, present the report of the committee.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Thank you, sir. The chairman, eminent and distinguished members of the board of Npf Microfinance Bank PLC, both present here and observing the meeting virtually at home, I say good morning to everyone. I hereby present the audit committee report of Npf Microfinance Bank as contained on page 51 of this annual report, and I read as follows. Report of the Statutory Audit Committee. In compliance with section 404(7) of the Companies and Allied Matters Act, 2020, we, the members of the Audit Committee of Npf Microfinance Bank PLC, report on the financial statements for the year ended 31st December 2020 as follows. 1. We have reviewed the scope and planning of the audit requirements and we found them adequate. We have reviewed the financial statements for the year ended 31st December 2020 and are satisfied with the explanations obtained in response to our queries. We reviewed the external auditor's management letter for the year ended 31st December 2020 and management responses thereto, and are satisfied that the management is taking appropriate steps to address the issue. We have reviewed all insider-related credits as defined by section 19(4) of the Banks and Other Financial Institutions Act 2020 and confirm that the bank disclosed all such credits and that they were reported in line with the Central Bank of Nigeria CBN guidelines. Specifically, we are satisfied that the bank has complied with the provisions of the Central Bank of Nigeria Circular BSD/1/2004 dated 18 February 2004 on disclosure of insider-related credits in the financial statements of banks. We hereby confirm that an aggregate amount of 63,629,000 was outstanding as at 31st December 2020. 31st December 2019, 108,214,000, of which none was non-performing. 31st December 2019, nil. See notes 28, bracket B, Roman figure 2, bracket to the financial statements. We ascertained that the accounting and report policies of the bank for the 31st December 2020 are in accordance with legal and the external auditor confirmed having received full cooperation in the course of their statutory audit. Signed by me, Chief Timothy Additional, Chairman Audit Committee, FRC/2020/IODN/0 to the 7th power 3745, dated 23rd March 2021. Other members of the Audit Committee are Alhaji Abdulkadir Sani, please stand up for recognition. 2, Mr. Abdurrahman Satumari and Mr. Aminu Salipai, the AIG of Police. Mrs. O.J. Idemudia, Company Secretary, acted as Secretary to the committee. Thank you, Professor.
Thank you very much, Chairman. Audit Committee. We go to board appraisal reports. Ladies and gentlemen, in accordance with the provision of the various codes of corporate governance, the board engaged the services of an external consultant to carry out an evaluation of the board's performance as a whole, performance of its committees, that of individual directors for the year ended 31st December 2020. The full report of the evaluation has been considered by the board with a view to addressing the identified shortcomings, and the copy submitted to the Central Bank of Nigeria. I now call on the representative of the Financial Institution Training Center, FITC, Mrs. Sheyi Masoyan, to present their report on the appraisal of the board. Representative of FITC.
Good morning, the Chairman, Npf Microfinance Bank Limited. I am Leke Oshiyemi, representing Sheyi Masoyan of FITC. Report to the directors of Npf Microfinance Bank. This report is on page 48 of the 27th Annual General Meeting for the Npf Microfinance Bank. FITC was engaged to carry out an independent evaluation of the Board of Directors of Npf Microfinance Bank PLC, as required by Section 2.8 of the Central Bank of Nigeria Code of Corporate Governance for Microfinance Banks, Section 15 of the Securities Exchange Commission SEC, and Section 14 of the Nigerian Code of Corporate Governance for the year ended December 31, 2020. The board evaluation covered key governance elements such as responsibilities of the board, the board's composition and structure, board operations and processes, board risk management activities, board's relationships with stakeholders, transparency and disclosures, as well as assessment of performance of the board's committees and individual directors. Our approach included a review of governance policies and procedures, minutes of the board and committee meetings, and other statutory documents relating to the bank's corporate process, as well as the administration of board appraisal, outline questionnaires, including chairman's assessment and the director's self and peer assessment questionnaire, and interviews with board members and key senior management personnel to get further insights and broader perspective of the current governance practices. We also benchmarked the bank's corporate governance structures and practices against the provisions of the Central Bank of Nigeria Code of Corporate Governance for microfinance banks, Security Exchange Commission, and the Nigerian Code of Corporate Governance, as well as global governance best practices. Based on our evaluation of the board's performance, we found out that the board has achieved significant compliance with the provisions of the codes, and areas of strength include separation of powers, board oversight of the risk management activities, relationship with stakeholders, corporate social responsibility, and commitments to continuous learning and development. On the self and peer assessment of each director, results shows their commitment to the business of the bank. Each individual director's assessment was prepared and made available to them respectively, while a consolidated report of the performance of all directors was submitted to the board chairman. Areas of improvement and other findings have been articulated, and details of these are contained in the full report submitted to the board. Yours sincerely, on behalf of the Managing Director, FITC, Chizo Magazine. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you. Please note that the report of the corporate governance evaluation is on page 49 of the annual report and accounts. Now formally presents and lay before you the bank's annual audited accounts for the year ended 31st December 2020 and reports of the directors, auditors, and audit committee thereof, which has been circulated to all shareholders as required by section 388, subsection 1 of the Company and Allied Matters Act 2020. Members are now free to ask questions or make their comments on the accounts and reports now submitted to the meeting. In doing so, it will help if you could please refer to the page of the reports and accounts to which your question or comments relate.
Yes.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Good morning, distinguished members of the board, especially our chairman, Mr. Azubuke, and the members of the board, fellow shareholders and Nigerians in entity. I give my respect and say good morning to everybody. Mr. Chairman, first and foremost, when we look at this report before us, my name is Alaji Kazim Alayiwola. To the glory of God, I came all the way from Kaduna State, the Libra State. Never mind our crisis. Don't come down. When you look at page 5 of the annual report on accounts, which is the financial highlights of, page 3 of this bank. Specifically to me, I think we do not need to bother ourselves too much on writing a long thesis for a PhD student. I quickly look at the total assets compared to the last, financial, program. It rose from 19,000 to 19 million to 25. However, I look at all indices, which are indications for us to know that we are moving forward. I say congratulations to this bank on this. And somebody join me with a round of applause. However, Mr. Chairman, despite the harsh economy of this country, this bank is moving forward. To be sincere, our progressive movements is an indication that tomorrow is better for us. I look at the fraud perpetrated by staff of NPF on page 33, which is quite unsatisfactory, but an appropriate measure has been taken by the guarantors to settle our bank. The fraud is from 11 million when you calculate it appropriately, and it has 3 million has been recovered. That's an indication that we will not relent on our efforts to curtail the incidents by the special grace of God. Same on page 33, the donation given to institutions that deserve to be given donation are well highlighted. And I think for me, my experience at Usman Dan Fodio University Teaching Hospital for a member, a non-academic staff of my place of service, is an indication that your contribution to that hospital has been beneficial to average Nigerians who has nothing or who has no money to travel out of this country for medical treatment. Mr. Chairman and the board, congratulations, and I appreciate this from your hand. Mr. Chairman, when you look at the staff strengths compared to the previous year, which was 349 in number, we presently have 450 staff that are working with us throughout the country. I think we deserve applause on this, because indirectly you are contributing to the growth of our battered economy. When you look at the GDP of this country, I think Npf Microfinance is adding value to this economy. I congratulate you and I thank you very much for this wonderful support. Mr. Chairman, on the final note, I look at the vision of this company. And what's our vision? You can quickly see the vision there on page 2, to be the clear leader in the provision of microfinance services. And when you just do a comparison of this vision with your strategic plan, it goes down well with what we have achieved today. Your strategic plan between 2021 and 2024 is organization, technology, and people. Mr. Chairman, if we are to assess by your analysis on this report and your opinion that you have submitted, you said we have achieved 70%. That shows we have 30% to climb the ladder. What are we doing about this? We are to draw another strategic plan between 2021 and 2024, another 3 years. What are your plans? Those are my questions. Please, we need to know this so that we can contribute meaningfully through writing by saying, do this, do that to improve our economy. I have two CMSA questions. The second one has to do with what are we doing with extending our branches outside the shore of Nigeria? If not in the developed country, in the African continent, whereby Nigeria is a king to them. You know all those countries I will not mention. Please, what is the bank doing? Our proposal to establish what we are doing here. Mr. Chairman, the share offer, we're planning to do this after the approval from the regulatory authorities. I'm imploring you to let us spread our tentacles to all the geopolitical zones of this country, irrespective of our current crisis. Never mind, there are people who develop the passion, who has developed the love, and who developed the share the same vision with this bank. Kindly let us know how you are going to design the dissemination of information and moving people closer to NPF Microfinance Bank. On a final note, I congratulate you, I congratulate the board, especially our company secretariat, for doing wonderfully well to remember some of us in the diaspora to Lagos. We sincerely appreciate it on behalf of the Kadapi. However, when you visited us last, our hosting right was highly appreciated by moving the town and ground to the hall where we hosted you. Once again, thank you very much for this wonderful opportunity. And again, the dividend of 20 kobo is yet to be naira. By next year, we need naira, not kobo. Thank you very much. I wish you a happy celebration. God bless Nigeria. Can you take the microphone?
Don't worry. Mr. Chairman, erudite scholars on the board and fellow shareholders, it's a privilege to be here. Mr. Chairman, page 43 triggered my interest. Whistleblowing process. My name is Honorable White Onwabuwo. I am the National President of our Shareholders Association of Nigeria. What I'm showing in this page 43, the whistleblowing process. I want to ask a question. With due respect, sir, is there any special incentives for the staffs to motivate them to issue of whistleblowing? If there is, what are the machineries put in place to protect the identities of the whistleblowers? Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
The chairman of the great Npf Microfinance Bank PLC, our fellow distinguished directors and eminent fellow shareholders. Good morning. My name is Shokisia Boniface. I am the national chairman of Progressive Shareholder Association of Nigeria. Mr. Chairman, it seems that the board is in full complement today. People are not observing the social distance. Everybody involved in this meeting. That's a good one. Because most boards join virtual today. They say from Canada they are joined virtual, from Enugu they are joined virtual. But I can see our directors taking time out. Because this one for the year, the most important thing, mask yourself and sanitize, as we have been seeing this all. That's all it is. Mask yourself and sanitize. Keep social distance. What this board said they are joining virtual, as if they cannot even travel again. But you're going to see politicians, they are in the array, millions, hundreds of thousands. You begin to ask, is this thing still exist? The coronavirus, the pandemic? But I think when they come to the shareholder, they say we should debate ourselves to 20 to 50. But politicians have no observance in this pandemic. That's where we are. But I want to commend those board members who have come here today. For the few shareholders who are able to be here, I need to see that directors are well alive. That none of us was missing in this pandemic. Congratulations. God bless all of us. Mr. Chairman, we are privileged to be here today to represent other thousands of shareholders of this great company who cannot join because of outlined by Lagos State and the CDC of gathering. As I said earlier, it is shareholder that shall take it. Politicians have no restriction. Move a battalion, move a million, nothing mega. Mr. Chairman, I want to commend this bank. This bank have done very, very, very well. Shareholder, please, a round of applause for them. Most commercial banks today are not giving us, even the older generation, one of them that ride by horse, pay us, is it 25 kobo? How many years in coming out to pay dividend? But this company have been giving us consistent dividend year in, year out of 20 kobo. This board, Mr. Chairman, your earnings, you're almost paying out. Somebody will ask, what's the dividend policy of this company? Is it not dividend policy? It's already tried. When you are paying out all your earnings to make sure your shareholders are happy, because this is still to fall back to. There's no other things. Those who are investing. And when the company are going to survive in hard economy that is not working, that insecurity that doesn't allow you to operate freely to make more money, and you are making such money to pay shareholders, we should give them kudos. That means the management is working hard. I want to commend the staff on this great company for this dividend we're sharing today. It's not easy to come back. There's some companies that most banks, bigger banks, that are paying 5 kobo. Can you believe it? That is not even all the states of the federation. In the different states, somebody was asking for, Kazim was asking of all the look and credit. I hope we are preparing to get more money, the right issue. That's the only way we can get to the branches. I'm not speaking for the board. And that's the only way we can have branches. Because if we don't have this money, unfortunately, our regulators are frustrated the move of companies. And because we have a regulator that over-regulated industries, SEC is doing their own, stock exchange is doing their own, CBN is doing their own as it you. But who regulates them? Their government have gone to sleep. Nobody regulates the regulators. And they are doing this with penalties. How can country move forward when you have such rascality in the system? That's the problem we're having in this country. Who regulates the regulators? That's the problem we're having. Mr. Chairman, I want to give kudos for this dividend we're having today. If you look at page 37 to 41 on corporate governance, I think the company have done well. Mr. Chairman, how busy you are, but in labor for big people, even all the directors, that's where good policies are being formulated. It's corporate governance. Because if a company does not meet up in attending meetings to formulate policy for management to carry out the work, then that company is failing in its duty and obligations. And they cannot have a good result to show for it. So, Chairman, I want to commend you. In all the subcommittees, and all those involved are always punctual. I want to commend this board of men and women. You have shown clearly that they are giving management directions in who they are working tirelessly. Mr. Chairman, we cannot stop to praising this board and management and the staff of a great company for what they have been doing. Like I always say, people can say, is anything good coming from the police setup? Microfinance is one of the good. They have laundered the image of police force, whether we like it or not. Now, with the bank today competing, even with the competitor banks, it's a testimony that the leadership can also come up in the police force. There are some those retired from CBN who cannot run fast successfully. That's the truth. That's the truth. But today, people who, when we go to sleep, they are awake to provide security. The chairman that have led this board or this bank, all of them have done very well in providing the leadership that we need to fly this bank. Mr. Chairman, when are we going to apply for commercial license bank. That's what we need now. It's not to control the microfinance bank. That's what we need now. Full-fledged commercial license. We are not overdue for it, Mr. Chairman. In view of what the company is doing, we should go for license of commercial bank. And what does it take? And that's why I'm feeling in advance that shareholders will get prepared to take the right. If you don't have money, many other companies will come, go and take Npf. A company less than 2 naira, they are paying 120 kobo dividend every year. Which return are you looking for? Where else will you get such a return? If it's not in this a bank like this. So put your money here. You go home sleep. Don't tell me finally, it's my day. Don't worry. Yes. Mr. Chairman, I will stop finally because yes, when you have done feel well, we don't need to emphasize and continue to keep them waiting here. I want to also commend the bank for numerous awards our bank is getting. That means somebody elsewhere are looking and observing with due diligence what the company is doing. Those awards is not been by, it's merited, and they have done very well. Mr. Chairman, on page 33, I want to commend also donations you have given out here. But I also want to encourage the bank to do much more in the area of education for the police people. Because government is not doing very well. Because if they have their children trained and they have a good school, built, renovated, furnished, and they will have library, they will go out and even exceed more their father and their mother. We should look at that areas. Education is very important to the children of our police who have also given us this bank. It's a good to remember them by giving them great educations. Mr. Chairman, all the things you have done here, they are all very good. The donations, we must also do much more so that we go around all the countries where we operate should not be left out. I mean, all the states where we operate should not be left out because public information is all over the federation. Mr. Chairman, this thing must go round. It must go round so that people will feel the plus. And I believe in that, as my brother earlier said, the first speaker, by the time we got this money, we are looking for the right issue. We must open more branches to create more job opportunities. Because I don't miss commercial bank and we start this year. They start in the name of pandemic. But yes, Mr. Chairman, if no more branches are not open, they cannot employ. They cannot remove those who are already working until more branches are created. That's the only way you can create job opportunities for people to come in on board. So I believe that this time around, Mr. Chairman, no matter what it takes, if the approval comes, let us hit the market. In the next 1 month, let us hit the market. In view of what this company is doing, there's nobody today since the return coming here, we're not able to take this or right issue. Even if you do public corporate combinations, it will fly. I'd rather put my money here than putting the bigger banks that have betted, that have not even given me returns to demonstrate my investments. Mr. Chairman, if you look at financial highlight, it's also an indicator that we are doing very well, despite the challenges in the economy. I cannot much also encourage people retirement just get better with PSA. So open account in that fund. Your retirement assured. If instead of putting it in whatever pension fund, you will not get it. You say come tomorrow, come today. Bring your money here in Npf. Your money is safe and protected because the police will secure it. No mega, nothing will be stealing here. And that is why we don't see much fraud. Because fraud and labor will get after those who steal our money. So as far as I am conscious of that, they will not steal. Because going to other commercial bank are running millions and billions in getting out. As a chairman, I must also commend the bank for investing in technology. It costs us money. Because during the pandemic, we are seeing what the better technology can do. People stay at their home and then make some bank transaction without, going to the banking hall to do business. So when we get more money, invest in technology, it much less work for the officers because of these things. Mr. Chairman, this dividend is payable today. I want to commend the cardinal store registrars. That's the beauty of it. There's a company that will say next week, we'll pay this dividend, but they're paying it today. That shows that this bank is working. The management is doing very well. By the time we're seeing the hall, we're seeing that lot. I want to commend that move of the board. The cardinal store register, they are good to go to give us. And I want to commend company secretariat. Madam is doing very well in making sure this annual report are well printed and given ahead of time. She has been doing very well. With the collaboration with the registrars, as a chairman on a clip dividend, I want to also emphasize that our money should not go to robbers who have not sold when they want to read what they did not sow. Every claim dividend must reside with the registrars, because it's not going. People are coming forth to claim their money. Let them work in conjunction with the company secretaries. Reconcile the account, except the one that established bad, that will go back to the company. That's what the law says. But now they want to amend the law through back doors to take on claim dividend, perpetual loan, which say no to it. That money should establish the company, which we need a lot of things to do. Government are not giving us any incentive. They are not encouraging anybody citizens to invest. They can give you money. In abroad, when you don't have work, they give you money at the end of the month. They give you clothes. They give you food, shelter. But here it's zero. You're on your own. Mr. Chairman, pandemic have told us that we don't have any order to care for us. Even when the pandemic comes, we didn't say that. The bread they give people take it to play football. The rice were keeping in the warehouse, and that's why they do take it. Mr. Chairman, with you, we are sure we will go home to stay. Our bank is working. God bless you.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I'm standing on the system protocol. My name is Barrister Adetutu Shinyambola. I have some observations. When I marry page 3, which is financial highlights, with page 29, item 2, operating results, I observe that profits before taxation declined by 13.99%. From 1.00 billion naira to 867 million naira in the year under review. Profits after tax declined by 22.85% from 796.4 million naira to 614.4 million naira in the year under review. Total comprehensive income declined by 23.25% from 796 million naira to 610.98 million naira in the year under review. Basic and diluted earnings per share declined by 22.86% from 35 kobo to 27 kobo. I observed that our profits reduced due to the effect of COVID-19 pandemic and NSAS protests. But I still have to seize this opportunity to give kudos to the board and management for the profit declared. My second point is on page 4. When I married that page 4, which talks about corporate information on directors and management, with page 34, item 18, that talks about employee and director information. I observed that we have 211 female out of 450 employees of the bank in the year under review, which amounts to 47%. This is very good on gender balancing. I observed that we have 9 female out of 30 at the top management level. which amount to 30%. This is unacceptable at all on gender balance. I observe that in the board of 3 executive directors, no female. And out of 8 non-executive directors, we have only 1 female, which amounts to 9% on gender balance. This is unacceptable as well. On page 30, item 5, directors' interest in shares. I observe that 8 out of 11 directors listed have our bank shares attached to their names, directly or indirectly. This is very good. Keep it up. On page 31, item 9, substantial interest in shares. I observe that Nigerian Police Cooperative Society Limited owns 64.75% shares in our bank, and Npf Welfare Insurance Scheme owns 10.25% shares of our bank. I observe that Mr. Aminu Saleh Pai and Mr. Jibrin Jigane are representing the interest of the Nigerian Police Cooperative Society in the board. Who is representing the interest of Npf Welfare Insurance Scheme in the board? I want to know. On page 32 and 33, on donations, I observe that our donations in the year under review centers on health and education alone. Next time we should extend to youth empowerment and social welfare. From page 37 to 42, attendance at board meetings and board committee meetings is good, but can be better. On page 108, item 14, administration and general expenses. Repairs and maintenance costs went up from 75 million naira to 87 million naira in the year under review, while expenses went up from 123.5 million naira to 135.9 million naira in the year under review. Why? AGM and year-end expenses went up from 50 million naira to 66.9 million naira in the year under review. Directors' remuneration went up from 150.8 million naira to 157.1 million naira in the year under review. Professional fees went up from 39.8 million naira to 65.8 million naira in the year under review. I want to know why. Because in this COVID era, some companies are slashing fees. So auditors' remuneration went up from 18.5 million naira to 23 million naira in the year under review. Corporate social responsibility went up from 614,000 naira to 1.7 million naira in the year under review. I observed that the breakdown of the money spent on CSR is not recorded in this annual report. Electricity expenses went up from 13.9 million naira to 14.9 million naira during lockdown. Damaged ATM cards went up from 108,000 naira to 226,000 naira in the year under review. Why are we bearing the cost of damaged ATM cards? Why is the cost in the year under review more than double? Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Okay, don't worry.
Good morning, Mr. Chairman of the Board of Directors and my co-shareholders. My name is Moses Ayodele of Independent Shareholders Association of Nigeria. I represent I represent I can speak, I'm a shareholder, and I represent Sanwosu. I can speak. Wait, let me. Yes, I'm represent, I can speak. It's a no. That I'm here, I can speak. Wait, somebody said me. I'm here. I can speak. I come to represent. No. I can speak. I can speak. Number one, I wear double cap. Number one, you can't shout me down. You keep quiet, please. You have been giving your this. You came in and please. You can't shout me down. You cannot say I can speak.
Okay, can I intervene? Please, sit down. Please, sit down. Let him speak. You can go ahead. I don't want any imbroglio here, please.
Thank you very much for the wisdom, and God bless you. I've introduced myself, Mr. Video Village, and I'm here to represent Sansan Wosu, and I bring these greetings to you. And I speak briefly to the account. Much has been said by earlier speakers, and I do not have any other option than to join them in congratulating the board of directors and the managing director, who is the chief driver of this company. We know we are fighting two wars now. The spiritual one is COVID, that has disrupted the world system. The other one is the challenges we are facing in the country, which have restricted many of us to, certain area, and we know the impact of these two wars. But for you to be able to produce this report, that means you are burning candle, and you have been having sleepless nights to be able to turn out this very good report. On that note, like others have commended you, I have to say you have done very well, and you keep it up. It's not easy, especially to be able to stabilize a chip in the store, and for you to have done that, you have done very, very well. And the area of my comment, one, I saw your cost discipline or control effort in the interest expenses, because that of last year was 11% when you compare it to your income, but for this year you've been able to bring it down, and you have 10%. This is what speaks for the high net income you have. And then you have high net income, and coming to the profit for the year came down as against the income you have at the upper level. But I discovered that you have a drop in other income. That is on page 59, from 311 to 69. And the impairment, that was okay, it's flat, but personnel expenses went up, and what made the bottom line to come down is the income tax of 252 as against 2011 you have in the previous year. If you have taken care of this, the bottom line should not have declined. And I look at your deposit, which is the source of your capital, that is what you trade with. I want to say or encourage you to have to look at savings, lest there be more mobilization in savings, because this is the cheapest one you have. Fixed deposit and some other things, because it's high, but that of savings will eventually boost your income if you do that. Then on the specialized banking, at least microfinance bank, I would rather support that you expand. The issue of going to an area with commercial bank may not be so desirable, but to expand, because there is a lot of, when you look at microfinance bank, we have not been able to taking advantage of the large size we have there. So what we need to do as a microfinance bank is to look at expansion, look at more branches to be able to capture, it's a big, huge market. We have not even captured 20% of it. So you have to, this is what you know doing. So it is better you stay put in where you are much more pronounced or much more competent than go into commercial. And you make more money in microfinance bank than commercial bank. Commercial bank is highly regulated, so there's no point going there. But here, there are a lot of, you can do more there. So on that note, I want to say that you have scored 100% as far as we are concerned. You have scored 100%. And I want to urge you to please sustain this. During the normal, when you have a environment that is more conducive, I know you are going to do better than this. And we'll be having 1 naira dividend and not cover again. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, for giving me this opportunity. My name is Mrs. E.O. Obide, National Coordinator of Agricultural Shareholder Association. Sir, whenever I see Npf Microfinance Bank or amalgamating, I'm always happy. Wherever you see a female, you see wisdom. The chairperson, Mama, he has done very, very well. So when I'm looking at the board today and I'm seeing another lady, every successful man, there should be a female beside him. And the female always give them assurance. Where a female doesn't stay, you will see the man with gray hair. But if you see where female are, it will take time before the man has gray hair. So our MD, you have a good person to support you. I am sending a message to MD. He has tried. He was not the government Mama was there. And for us to be receiving dividend every year, he has done a good job. Let us give him a round of applause. Our company secretary also tried. That's why I will repeat it again. He has a good company secretary and it's a female. It's because he's having a female as a company secretary. That is why he's making it every year to give us dividend. So let's clap for our female in the house. Let's clap for us, please. Thank you. You men, you are jealous. That clap, I don't enjoy it. Thank you very much. My appreciation goes to once again to this on and Cardinal Stone. all the AGM we've been doing, I've not seen them printing e-mandate and sending message. They send message to me that I have unclaimed dividend. They help me a lot, not for these arbitrators or opponent to steal my money. You know, we're pensioner. We always depend on our dividend. If they've not sent to me, I don't know I have unclaimed dividend. So you've done a good job for doing this. If other companies are doing it like the one Npf did, to send by the registrar, it has given me an alert that whenever I have time, I should go to the registrar by Npf to collect my unclaimed dividend. So it reduced the burden of dividend. Thank you for the innovation. Sir, we have, you know, in all this committee, the new law says the shareholder should be paid while the board should be two. And I think at this meeting, since the board, those that are present in all this committee, I think for the charges, we should consider people that has FRS and accountants. It's an advice I am not, so that I think the charges and the burden will be reduced. Let's consider that. Sir, let's go to page 4. I am welcoming those people, the new director on board. I'm welcoming them. So for being on board, we expect you to work harder and join our MD, so that by next year we will not receive cover. In Nigeria today, there is no cover. Even newborn baby, when you give them cover, give them 1,000, give them 500 and cover. The baby will look at you like this. They look at you and take 1,000. So by next year, by Thursday, God will give you the wisdom how you arrive at it. Even if it is city cover, then next year, in 5 years time, we'll receive Naira. Thank you for that, sir. You are late, so stay there. Page 9. Don't have to stop narrating it. Short man, wait. The comment and they join the management in giving us the right direction. We thank you for that. This is microfinance, and I believe in the country nowadays, many people are looking for loan. But sir, I believe we are taking all necessary, because I have an idea of one microfinance in Lekki. I don't want to mention them. They give loans, but they don't take proper documents. And that proper document that they are not taking is affecting the staff. After those people that pick the loan, if they don't see them, is the staff that they employ, they will charge or tell them. So in microfinance, one must to pay the customer by hand. I think the right thing is supposed to be so a customer that you are giving loan, you have to pay him or her through his or her account. This microfinance in Lekki, I won't mention them yet, pay by hand. And when they run away, they will tell the staff and tell them they should pay and be taking them to. So I am advising our microfinance that all proper documentation should be considered, put in place for those we are giving things to. Thank you for giving me this opportunity. Whom should I give it to?
Yes.
Mr. Chairman, other board members, distinguished shareholders are present, and those watching us by virtual. I am Honorable Kola Anaga. Mr. Chairman, I'm going to start from the other side. And I want to refer us to page 30, where the death of Mr. Jude is announced. Mr. Chairman, I want to, on behalf of all the shareholders in Nigeria and in diaspora, say that even though we are not happy with the death of this man, I pray that his soul rests in perfect peace. And I want to suggest that after all questions have been asked, before you answer, let us give him 1 minute silence. Mr. Chairman, having said that, let me quickly run through to the financials. Mr. Chairman, note 14, where we have fraud, forgeries, and theft. Mr. Chairman, I want to commend us for curtailing fraud and theft and for recovering some of this stolen money from these people. But Mr. Chairman, I want to ask, what are we doing to curtail this in the nearest future? Secondly, Mr. Chairman, I try to compare note 14 and page 33, subhead 15. And I want to ask, how do we reconcile the figures in these 2 pages? Note 14 says 753,000 for 2020, while page 33 says 699,922.1. So I want us to look at it and reconcile the figures. Mr. Chairman, I also look at page 4 of this annual report. I see regional head this, regional head that, regional head north, west. But unfortunately, I couldn't see regional head west. And asking, who is the regional head west? And how many branches is our bank having in the north, south, and east? Mr. Chairman, on the final notes, I want to join others in commending us for the job well done. And if not for the staff and management, we will be saying another thing to this board. So, Mr. Chairman, if we are praising you today, we are praising you because the staff and management of this bank have performed creditably well. Thank you very much. So, on behalf of all the shareholders in Nigeria and the diaspora, I want to congratulate Npf Microfinance Bank for another successful year. And I want to welcome our new directors. Advice has been given. We don't want couple dividend again. We want you to work harder so that we can have naira dividend.
Thank you. God bless all of us. Okay, let's take the last.
The chairman of the board of NPF, directors, my fellow shareholder, ladies and gentlemen. I say good afternoon, sir. Good afternoon. Mr. Chairman, I'm very glad I've been appointed as one of the hosts. My name is Patrick Adubio. And it's a pleasure seeing you once again after Kano. That I met you. Kano meeting. And to me, MPF is the only bank I've seen this year that has full complement of all the board members. Despite COVID, I'm sure that you people are now above COVID, telling COVID to go away, and it will go away by the grace of God. Mr. Chairman, if I said I'm not happy, there is an understatement. The MD have proven to me to be a very, very hardworking person, and he has continued to offer us return on our investment. Please let's give a round of applause to this gentleman. Mr. Chairman, quite often we always celebrate excellence and professionalism, and that was why I will take page 5. You see page 5? I saw that the bank is one of those who always support what I call excellence and productivity. When I check the reason of the company secretary, she has been in this bank since 1993. It's a wonderful time, and she has spent so much here. So, Mr. Chairman, I look forward to an encouragement to this beautiful, excellent, hardworking, productive woman to the post of an executive director. Nothing stopped the bank. She didn't talk to me about it, but I recognize that when somebody works hard, you boost the morale, you encourage the person, and you promote the person. Mr. Chairman, one of the criteria for the corporate governance, which I will take you to page 16, is the need that after you have given us the profile, we look forward to having the dates of appointments. Because it is so doing that I have noticed some of this here, that some of them do not have dates. And one of them happens to be the MD. Please, I would like to know exactly what date he was appointed. When you check that page, I did not see the date he was appointed as the MD on executive capacity involved. There is also another person, Mr. John. The same thing is applicable to him. I did not see the date he was appointed. So there is need to do that. And the last person is Mr. Mohammed Dansoho Sahid. This we look forward to having their dates of appointment. Mr. Chairman, I'll take you to page 33 where we have 4 days. NPF is one of the banks that I can say is very proactive. And then, of course, I've been very careful in disclosing this issue of fraud and forgeries. Mr. Chairman, I would like to indulge you that the bank must continue in this thread of recovery. And any insider-related forgery must be taken care of. There should be a mechanism to forestall future occurrence of this. Mr. Chairman, on the final note is the issue of recapitalization. Whether we like it or not, recapitalization is very important. Yes, we have 5.4 billion, but that is in the assets. We are looking at liquidity, and as such, once you are able to receive approval from Central Bank, the shareholders here are ready to support you, Mr. Chairman. We are ready to take up our rights. We are ready to take up the offer. All that we employ is to look at the timing to make sure it is not coronavirus time, because that time there is no money in our pockets. 2 is to ensure
affordability in terms of pricing, so that we can be able to afford it. You know, most of us are not like you, Mr. Chairman. If I look at your shareholding, my own is just like 100%, 1/100 of your own. So we don't have that muscle. So let's look at it in terms of pricing and give us that affordability. What we are saying is that NPF must reposition themselves to play a leading role in microfinance bank in Nigeria. And that is my prayer, and that is my ultimate desire. God bless you, sir.
Thank you very much. In the legal panel, they said there must be an end to litigation. So there is an end to question and answers. We have had 8 people taking the floor to ask questions and to make comments and issues. Thank you very much. Somebody, I think somebody was talking about the late ED operations, which shows that maybe he didn't attend the last year's AGM. But we all have a high regards and respect for the late officer. So before we start answering the questions, I think let's also still pay that respect as he demanded. Observe 1 minute silence. So may the soul of the departed rest in peace. Please. I want to make a general say something generally in response to all the questions that have been asked, and eventually hand over to the managing director CEO to take up some of the nitty-gritty parts of the questions posed. You know, the Npf Microfinance Bank has come a long way, like some of you have said, starting from 1993 till date. People have played their roles. There are those that have started from then, they are still there playing their roles. People that have scruples, people that have honesty and sincerity of purpose to make sure that what we are seeing today is what we are seeing. Somebody made an allusion about 70% of the strategic plan, the second strategic plan that is going to come to an end this year, and we have achieved 70%. One thing I want to say about that is that if you are in the university or even when you are taking WAEC and some other things, you score 70%, that's A1. If it's in the university, you are talking about first class. And even though those of us in the Npf Microfinance Bank would like to pursue everything to make sure that we get 100%, we should know that there are a lot of variables, intervening variables. All things are not always equal. You may plan something and you may get some hiccups or fog in the wheel of progress one way or the other. But suffice it to say that we are following the vision that has been set. We have gone digital. The bank, as of today, we are having approval for a total of 50 branches. Because the central bank has approved a number of other branches for us, and very soon we'll be talking about the share. The share offer rights issues that we have been talking about, and I know that after this AGM, the next major thing the bank will be doing will be the offer, the share of rights. So a lot of things are going on, and you know, I want to hand over to the managing director so that he can take up the technical aspect. There, he is the head of the executive running the bank, and he will give you answers. I don't have any fears. All the questions you have raised, I know everything about them, and I am very, very comfortable that the bank is on the proper pedestal and on the proper trajectory to greatness. Thank you.
Distinguished shareholders, members of the board, let me first start by acknowledging all the compliments on behalf of the board, management, and staff of Npf Microfinance Bank. All the compliments credit goes to the board members, the management, and staff, and they're not leaving out even the shareholders for your support, for your continually in this forum where we get awesome feedbacks that has always made the bank strong. So thank you very much for all the compliments. In no particular order, but I'll try as much as possible to answer all your questions. Let me just go to the simplest one, which is somebody was asking about the appointment of directors. It only appears that I've actually studied. Go to page 30, you see the appointment days of all the directors. It's clearly stated. Yeah, I can, the first speaker, Mr. Kazim Olaiwola, talking about the total assets or an increase. Okay, something that I can total assets increase, and then there is I will use the word that the profits to the south. Let me just say that because it's not on the asset of the bank is to the north, it's on the increase, while the profit of the bank is to the south. Maybe slight marginally, and those things are certainly stated in the annual report. But in a nutshell, we all know 2020 is an aberration. It is completely not the normal. COVID, SARS, and a host of others, social issues, and that brought about economic downturn. That me and you are locked down in our respective locations. That this actually affects the general economic activities in the economy, and we need not to continue to overemphasize that the year 2020. But in spite of that, which in the annual report we clearly actually that adducing reason why. The most importantly, some of this, like I say, in no particular, but to be of general application by the time I'm answering some of these questions. But I'm asking about the question of why the increase in this and that. To the extent that yes, economic activity were disrupted, but inflation in the economy, cost of living is on the increase. Petrol price is not the same as at 2019 and today. General cost of living on the increase, and the inflation on the even as that the monetary policy that is being is unprecedented for you to have inflation at over 18%, 18.1%. So things are generally on the increase, and then so you will not even we know how we got here, and we know that. So some of this question is to tell you that those increase in cost is that a general effect of the nature of economic activities that you don't have the prices as one can say. Yes, there is this issue generally that people ask questions about fraud and fraudulence. And then why, well, without making excuses, the main thing is that when you deal with money, the tendency is that what are the things you are likely to do. But beyond that, in Npf Microfinance Bank, a lot of activities have been put in place to check it. So you to check the activities of fraud, the activity of the operation of the bank and all this stuff. We now have virtually e-channels. Like one of the speakers was asking that in one particular microfinance bank, things were carried out, the money at the boss in the hand. You don't have distances. And if for all you also want to know that patronize the bank. You have PSS where you can transfer your money easily. You have agency banking where you don't even need to move to the bank, to move to any of our agents and do your transaction with the bank. And then we have mobile banking application where the comfort of where is the transaction, you can do your transaction. So it is not it's not a digitalized bank as against manually operated, fully digitalized. Like the chairman rightly mentioned, we have approval of the Central Bank of Nigeria. We've gotten approval to open 15 additional branches in line with, in addition to our current 35 branches. So any moment from now, in fact, with effective the 1st of July, some of our brand new branches will be taken up. I can specifically tell you, we will open in my branch. We have currently running a cash center by the second half of from 1st of July. I can give you the intention, like rightly said, is to ensure that we have the bank represented in all the states of the federation. So currently we are running on 35 branches, we've got an additional 15 branches, and this gradually we have a period of 1 year to open these branches. And I assure you, we will open the branches will open in line with the template given to us by the Central Bank of Nigeria. Bright also strategically wanted to know about the whistleblowing. I can tell you that for whistleblowing, staffs are well protected. We have a whistleblowing policy. So there is a policy in place to guarantee that staff are protected. There is a free toll line for any staff who have information to send it doesn't a free toll line to any of the directors. So we have the direct emails of the external the regulatory authorities that they can send the information to the. So and then we also have the suggestion box that where you can drop it. So there is in terms of corporate governance, transparency, you can see it from the reports. Given this opportunity, your bank is corporate governance par excellence. You have the Nigerian Stock Exchange here, they are regulated by the NGX, the Security Exchange, and the Central Bank of Nigeria, which are actually our primary regulator. But it's a multi-regulated institution being quoted on the floor of the Nigerian Stock Exchange. So you know that it is not, in terms of corporate governance, it's by excellence. And then so staff are protected in terms of disclosure of all information that that made available to the public. We've also spoken extensively about the need for the bank to increase its capitalization. And glad to mention here that all efforts to raise shares, additional shares, are on top. As we speak, we are only awaiting approval from the Security Exchange Commission. And as soon as we have that approval, we are immediately going into the market. And I believe that the regulatory authority has seated there, the representative of sex are here, and that I'm sure communicates that having listened to you directly, that you are ready to take up this will be well understood. What was said about, which I think I reacted by Barrister John Waller about cost, which I tried to tell that that's the cost of living and inflation in the economy. Practically, until we move from a Nigerian economy to productive economy, then probably be able to reduce the cost of the exchange rate, which is to a large extent very influential in determining the cost, because we are virtually an import-oriented economy. Moses, I already mentioned the issue of rising costs as it gets related to staff. Well, still on the same page, but in addition, a total of 110 staff was employed here. So if you look at the annual report, you see that an increase in the number of staff that we had in 2019 as against 2020. So those staff have to be paid for. The result we are seeing have to be, you have to pay something reasonable. The living wage might not be a fantastic thing, but at least the living wage for the staff who are delivering this excellent performance. You also encourage us to mobilize savings and also assure like the coming with various ensuring that we are digitalized banks, agency banking. These are all efforts to ensure that financial inclusion is enshrined, and by that we mobilize more deposits for the bank. And also quickly, lastly, also when Patrick acknowledged and actually even sent that question ahead about what are we doing now that we have met the capitalization. Yes, of course. So what is the source of funding to buy? Why equity? Why we open the share issue? Ensure that also we have excellent service products that tailor to the need of our numerous existing and potential customers to open and run an account with the bank. So we want them, and of course, through developmental from developmental institutions. These are the source of funding. So
I think on a general note, I probably have exhausted all the questions. Thank you very much for your attention.
Thank you very much, indeed. And I want to thank all the people that asked questions. For those of us that listen, that commend all of you for the interest in the affairs of the bank. I hereby declare that the annual reports and accounts of the company for the year ended 31st December 2020 have been duly received. We have now come to the other business of the meeting, deciding the vote count for each agenda item. The registrar will note the votes for duly executed proxy forms received and voting pads for each vote casted by shareholders, physical attendance. So we go to agenda item 2, declaration of dividends. Ladies and gentlemen, as a result of the bank's performance, the directors in their report before you recommending to members for your approval the declaration of dividend in the sum of 457 million naira, representing 20 kobo per 50 kobo ordinary share of the bank. Such dividend is to be taken out of the amount standing as credits in the profit and loss account and is subject to deduction of 10% withholding tax payable to the relevant authorities. I hereby propose the motion that a dividend of 20 kobo per ordinary share of 50 kobo recommended in the report of the directors for the year ended 31st December 2020 be and is hereby declared payable to shareholders whose names appeared in the register of members at the close of business on Tuesday, 6th May 2021. Someone please second the motion. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr.
Thank
Chairman.
you, Mrs. Okay, go ahead.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I second the motion.
Thank you, Mrs. Elizabeth. Does anyone have any comments or questions to ask concerning the motion? Thank you. I now put the resolution to the meeting. Will those in favor of the resolution please indicate with their voting cards?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Good afternoon, distinguished shareholders. I believe we all have our voting cards with us. The voting session will last for approximately 20 seconds. For those who intend voting in favor of a resolution, you press the number 1 button and thereafter press the OK key to submit your vote. If you are voting against the resolution, you press the number 2 button and thereafter press the OK button to submit your vote. If you are abstaining from the resolution, you press the number 3 button and thereafter press the OK button to submit your vote. On the resolution to declare a dividend, Voting starts now, please. Voting ends now. I have the permission to give the report. On the resolution to declare a leave, we have 100% votes in person and by way of proxy in favor of this resolution, amounting to 1,501,429,831 units of Npf Microfinance Bank PLC shares. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you. All right, thank you very much. Those against the resolution, please indicate the voting part likewise.
Yes, sir. There's 100% votes in favor of the resolution, Mr. Chairman.
All right. Yes. Okay. So I declare the motion carried unanimously. Thank you. Agenda item 3, re-election of directors. The next item on the agenda is re-election of retiring directors. In accordance with section 285 of the Companies and Allied Matters Act 2020, the following non-executive directors are offering themselves for re-election. They are Mr. Abdurrahman Satumari. Number 2, Mrs. Rakia Edota Shehu. Number 3, Mr. Saliu Argungu Hashim. I hereby propose the following resolutions. That Mr. Abdurrahman Satumari be and is hereby reappointed as a director. Would someone please second the motion? Okay. Thank you very much, Mr. Laiwola. Does anyone have any comments or questions to ask concerning the motion? Go ahead.
Abdurrahman Satumari as director. Voting starts now. Voting ends now. Mr. Chairman, may I have a permission? On the resolution to elect Mr. Abdurrahman Satumari as the director, we have 100% votes in favor of this resolution, amounting to 1,501,835,703 units of shares. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you very much. I now call on the I hereby propose that Mrs. Rekia Edotashe be and is hereby reappointed as a director. Will someone please second the motion? Yes. Okay, thank you, Mr. Barrister. Does anyone have any comments or questions to ask concerning the motion? So can we go ahead with it?
On the resolution to re-elect Mrs. Rekia Edotashe as director, voting starts now. Voting ends now. Have the permission for the vote. On the resolution to elect Mrs. Rekia Edotashe as director, without 100% votes in favor of this resolution, amounted to 1,501,875,702 units of shares. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you very much. Therefore, declare the resolution carried unanimously. I hereby also propose that Mr. Saliu Argungu Hashimu be and is hereby reappointed as director. Will someone please second the motion? Okay. Okay.
On the resolution to elect Mr. Sali Arugungu Ashima as director, voting starts now. Voting ends now. On the resolution to elect Mr. Sali Arugungu Ashima as director, we have 100% votes in favor of this resolution, amounting to 1,500,564,707 units of shares. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you. Thank you very much. I hereby declare the motion carried unanimously. The directors of the bank offering themselves for re-election have been reappointed as directors. I, on behalf of the board, thank you very much for the confidence reposed on us. We assure you that we will continue to bring our wealth of experience to bear for the growth of the bank. Thank you very much. Agenda item number 4, auditors remuneration. The auditors, Mrs. KPMG Professional Services, have indicated their willingness to continue in office and are hereby reappointed in accordance with Section 401, subsection 1 of the Companies and Allied Matters Act 2020. The next resolution I shall ask a shareholder to formally propose is that the directors be authorized in accordance with Section 408 of the Companies and Allied Matters Act 2020 to fix the remuneration of the auditors, Mrs. KPMG Professional Services. Would someone please second the motion?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Privilege is my name. I so do. Please second the motion. Thank you.
Does anyone have any comments or questions to ask concerning the motion? Okay.
On the resolution to authorize directors to fix remuneration of the auditors, voting starts now. Voting ends now. On the resolution to authorize directors to fix remuneration of the auditors, you have 100% votes in favor of this resolution, amounting to 1,496,442,970. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you very much. I declare the resolution carried unanimously. Item number 5 on the agenda, disclosure of remunerations of managers of the bank. It has to be carried unanimously. Well, I have to draw your attention to what the law says. Section 257 of the Companies and Allied Matters Act 2020 provides that at this meeting, the remunerations of managers of the bank be disclosed. I hereby draw the attention of shareholders to page 107 of the financial statements for information on the remuneration of managers. Is that okay? Agenda number 6. Agenda item number 6. Election of members of the audit committee. In accordance with section 4043 of the Company and Allied Matters Act 2020, the audit committee shall consist of 5 members, comprising of 3 members and 2 non-executive directors, are subject to election annually. The following directors have been appointed to represent the board on the audit committee. 1, Mr. Abdurrahman Satumare. Number 2, Mr. Aminu Saleh Pai, who is unavoidably absent. He is attending another meeting. Valid nominations have also been received from shareholders. I now call on the company secretary to announce the names of the candidates duly nominated for this election. Secretary, please.
Madam, we received 8 nominations for election into the audit committee, and the candidates and their proposals are as follows. Mr. Sani Abdulkadir, proposed by Additional Tajudeen Yunga. Chief Timothy Ayobani Adesina, proposed by Akilade Mapi. Mr. Otolaye, Mrs. Otolaye Okezie Victoria, proposed by Agbara Okezie. Mr. Agbaje Ganiyu Oluwole, proposed by Olatunji Bolanle Segun. Agbara Okezie, proposed by Okezie Victoria. Shosanwo Kolawole, proposed by Sani Abiodun Christian. MOT Olayiwola Togo, proposed by Adeleke Oladimeji Bolaji. Oshijo Omobola Esther, proposed by Oduyemi Frederick Olufemi. Those are the candidates.
What's the observation? Huh? This juncture, I urge you to note the provisions of Section 404, Section 5 of the Company and Allied Matters Act 2020 and the various code of corporate governance, which provides that members of the audit committee shall be financially literate, and at least one member shall be a member of the professional accounting body in Nigeria. Also, in accordance to Section 249, subsection 3 of the Companies and Allied Matters Act 2020, note that election of audit committee members shall be by show of hands. Please be guided accordingly while casting your votes.
Mr. Chairman, in view of this COVID pandemic, we have a guideline on them by CS, and I know CS is here as observation. Let us not follow the rules and guidelines. Otherwise, we're going to make money, which I don't want, because that happened today. One of the things I said there, when we tell the directors that the law says the two director nominees will present non-executive on the audit committee, and they made a mistake, added that they have to withdraw. In fact, the observer from CAC said, no, chairman, you need to effect that withdrawal, announce it, it can be shared. Why am I saying this? So that we don't come back to do this meeting again. The number of accredited to attend this meeting by process are 10 listed here, including the chairman have right to vote, and other person listed here. In the audit committees by show of hand, it's not by poll, by show of hand. And that hand can, madam, I know what I'm saying, that hand cannot pass more than 10 that are listed here. If, because they're going to count. That's only people that are allowed to vote. You may be here as a shareholder, but if you're not actively can vote. Let us follow the rule. That's my observation, sir.
I'm sorry, Mr. Okeze. The people that can receive notice of AGM, including myself as a shareholder, including other directors who are here as shareholders, can also vote. That's what we're saying. And it will be by show of hand. That's what the chairman said.
Because he was, okay, it's clarified now, it's okay, no problem. So I want to call, I want to call on the meeting to vote for each of the candidates by show of hands. Number 1. Sani Abdul Kadiri. Are we okay? Yes, I'm a shareholder. All right. Number 2, Chief Timothy.
Timothy Ayobabi Adesina. Authority, okay, say Victoria. Okay. Akpaje Dani Oluwole. Amara, okay, say. So, someone, Bola Wole. So, someone, Bola Wole. Who is that? I think that's it. And last, okay. Have you finished? Yes. And the last person is Osijo Omobola Esther. Thank you very much. From the results announced by the registrar and handed over to Mr. Timothy Adesina has 24 votes. Alhaji Abdulkadir Sani has 26 votes. Osijo Esther Mobola has 23 votes. Otolore Dei Ukeze Agbaje and Abara have 0 votes. Sasanwo Bolawole has 7 votes. So from the results announced by the registrar, Mr. Timothy Adesina, Alhaji Abdulkadir Sani, Esther have the highest votes and therefore appointed as members of the audit committee. Now that you have approved that these 3 representatives of the shareholders who have just been elected should be the shareholders to serve on the audit committee until the next annual general meeting, I move that the 3 members elected above and the 2 directors, Mr. Abdurrahman Satumari and Mr. Aminu Salepai, be and are hereby elected members of the audit committee pursuant to section 404, subsection 3 of Company and Allied Matters Act 2020 until the next annual general meeting. Would someone please second the resolution?
Those in favor of the resolution, please indicate.
Sure.
No.
Okay. Those against, please indicate likewise. I declare the resolution carried. The audit committee is now duly constituted. Special business. The next business on the agenda is special business. Remuneration of directors. That's item 7. To consider and if thought fit, pass the following resolution as ordinary resolution in accordance with section 277 of CBN Code of Corporate Governance for banks and discount houses and section 14.6 of the Security and Exchange Code of Corporate Governance, that the remuneration of the directors of the bank for the year ending 31st December 2021 be and is hereby fixed at 25 million naira only. Would someone please second the motion? Thank you. Does anyone have any comments or questions to ask?
Mr. Chairman, we need to take the resolution. On the resolution to consider an if-thought fit, pass resolution as ordinary resolution that the director's annual fees for the year ending 31st December 2021 be and is hereby fixed at 25 million. Voting starts now, please. Voting ends now. We have a commission to approve the result.
Okay.
On resolution to consider if the passage following as ordinary resolution that the director's annual fees for the year ending 31st December 2021 be and is hereby fixed at 25 million. We have 100% vote in favor of this resolution amounting to 1,500,187,703 units of shares. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Okay, thank you, Registrar. I declare the motion carried unanimously. Item 8, allotment of unissued shares. Ladies and gentlemen, you will recall that members at the annual general meeting held on 25th July 2019 approved the share offer of 3 billion units of the authorized share capital of the bank. The next resolution is now required to be proposed to ensure that the bank complies with section 124 of the Company and Allied Matters Act 2020. To consider and if thought fit, pass the following resolution as ordinary resolution. And I quote that in the event of oversubscription of the 3 billion units of shares earlier approved to be offered by the company, the directors be and are hereby authorized to allot all the outstanding unissued shares of the company in compliance with section 124 of the Company and Allied Matters Act 2020. And the New Companies Regulation 2021 and to deal with the fractional shares arising therefrom the best way deemed fit. Would someone please second the motion? Okay.
Mr. Chairman, I have also to sound the word of warning to our regulators. We don't want to come back again repeating, bringing these subjects under recording and their approval, seeking approval. The board have been proactive to initiate this move. I was able to conclude it and have this money. Not coming back again for this approval. This is the second time giving this, because the regulators are the one weighing us down. No, it's not. Then we don't tell them so that we tell them. We should be well regulated them. Since the government have them here to regulate them. We don't want to come there charging penalties about this and that. You are after money. The regulator today, they are about money making. They don't see the survival and company to every country to grow. That's why they are after money and things are not working well. Mr. Chairman, I have seconded this motion that we are going to proactive to come to the market and read this morning. Okay, Chair Boniface. Okay.
Mr. Chairman, our authorized share capital is 3 billion, and we are using the rest now. What will be our plan to increase our authorized share capital?
I want to put the resolution to the meeting. With those in favor of the resolution, please get on the voting pad.
On resolution that in the event of our subscription of 3 billion units of shares that are approved to be offered by the company, the directors here and are hereby authorized to allot all the outstanding units shares of the company. Voting starts now. Voting ends now.
Okay, go ahead.
On resolution that in the event of our subscription of 3 billion units of shares that are approved to be offered by the company, the directors here and hereby authorized to allot the outstanding units shares of the company. We have 100% votes in favor of this resolution, amounting to 1,501,875,573 units of shares. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you very much. Ladies and gentlemen, we have completed the business for which statutory notice was given. I thank you all for attending the 27th annual general meeting and for taking interest in the company matters. I now declare the meeting closed. On behalf of the board of directors, the management and staff of the bank, I wish you all safe journey to your various destinations. Will someone please say the closing prayers? Okay,
Shall we pray? Almighty God, we thank you that when we are to start to call on you, and now when we are ending, we appreciate you. We thank you for the deliberations on the business of our company. We pray that our company will continue, our bank will continue to witness progress, will continue to witness development, and will continue in this right positive trajectory. We pray that you continue to grant the board and the management the wisdom with which to go about their business in a successful way. For us, who don't come from far and near, we pray for journey mercy. We pray for your guidance, and we pray that you protect all of us from this rampaging virus. That we will not see death will not see us. We will not see accident will not see us. Father, we ask that you make us to continue to witness progress and more dividend in this our bank. We ask all this through Christ our Lord. Amen.
Thank you, and God bless you all.